Kubernetes is the leading container orchestration platform, and it's really there to help simplify the deployment, scaling, and management of your containerized applications. So with that, let's dive into some code. Okay, here I have VS Code up and running on my Mac, and in the background we already have a Kubernetes cluster running locally on my machine with APIM deployed on it. We just did that with the Helm chart, so you can see that here. We have a single release and a deployed status, and you can also see all the pods up and running. And this is everything you'd expect to see in just a basic Gravity APIM deployment. You have the management API, the gateway itself, the dev portal, the console UI, and then everything being supported by MongoDB and Elasticsearch in the background. So this is nothing new. And what we want to focus on today is the Gravity Kubernetes operator itself. And if you're unaware, Kubernetes operators are basically just custom controllers in Kubernetes to allow you to extend the functionality to control application-specific logic. In this case, Gravity API management's the application, and that's the functionality that we're looking to extend and manage through Kubernetes. So the first thing we want to do is actually install an additional release, and this will be the Kubernetes operator, or the GKO as we call it, itself. So let's go ahead and get that started. And while the pods are starting up, I want to talk real quick about custom resource definitions, or CRDs. And so these are what actually enable the Kubernetes operator to employ the application-specific logic. So everything in these CRDs is specific to Gravity. And so the first of these we want to deploy is the management context CRD. And this basically allows the GKO to sync with the management API. So let's go ahead and see what kind of state we're in, make sure the pods are up and running. Okay, perfect. We can see the GKO is in a running state, so it's good to go. So the first thing we want to do is actually create this resource. So we can do that with the command line, just run apply, get the management context. Okay, perfect. That's been created. So now we should be able to create APIs through the GKO. And so what we have here is another CRD, it's just an API definition. And if you're familiar with Gravity at all, this should look familiar. You have a name, version, description, the plans you want to deploy, the context path it's available at, and the endpoint it's targeting. So before I go ahead and deploy that, I'm going to switch over to the console UI. You can see here, there's no APIs deployed yet. But now we'll go back and create this new resource. So run this. You can see API definition's been created. So let's return to the console. And when we go here, you can see the API has been created. And there's a special tag on here showing that it was created in Kubernetes. So if we actually go ahead and open this up, you're going to see everything that you can normally edit has been grayed out. This is to make sure that everything's managed in a declarative fashion through Kubernetes. So if I return back to VS Code one more time, and I want to change a property, so we want to change the name from Echo API to Mike's API. And now we go ahead and apply that resource again. And now when I return to the console, just make sure it refreshes, you can see the new API. So now with everything up and running, you can also see if we want to send a call to that API, since it's running on localhost and this is the port I exposed it on. If I run that command, it hits that echo endpoint that we'd set up, and it returns a 200 OK status. And so you can see everything's fully functional here. And if we want to tear down the API, as simple as running this delete command, you can see that's been deleted now. So let's return to the console just one more time. And now when I go back to APIs, you can see that no longer exists. If you want to get started today, just head over to our new documentation site and learn how you can deploy the GKO in your own Kubernetes cluster.